Well, the Sunset Strip, at least in the 70s, and I'm assuming still today, was really sort of the ground zero for the entertainment business. All the rock and roll managers and a lot of the music companies had offices here. So this was the place where it was happening. Plus you had all the Whiskey A Go-Go and Gazzarri's, you had Tower Records. So the whole music scene was focused on the Strip. So it was a natural place to put the billboards. And you had kids coming up here, buying records, going to the shows, cruising the Strip. So it was just a natural for the record companies to put their billboards up on the Strip. I was living right above the Strip on Shoreham. So when I left home and I drove out of my house, I'd come right down past Tower Records. So like the Strip was like my backyard or front yard. So, and then I started noticing this, like, it was like a changing gallery. Every month these pictures on the billboard on the Strip would change and it'd be these new billboards. So I just started shooting them because I was fascinated. I think the first one I shot was the Beatles in '69. And then about 5 years ago, someone at the Getty asked me to speak and do a slideshow. And there was somebody at the Getty who was also on the West Hollywood Historic Preservation Commission. So they had seen the show, and then 5 years later, they were thinking of what could they do for this year's program, and it clicked in that, you know, why don't we do something on the billboards? I think one of the questions was, they're sort of an ephemeral thing, but it's also, they're a big part of the identity of West Hollywood and of the Sunset Strip. Well, depending on the age of the people, I think a lot of people will be astonished. In fact, not even depending on the age, because I lived on the Strip, so I saw these billboards. But if you lived in another part of town, these boards were up for like 30 days and then they were gone. They were whitewashed, painted over, and something new went up. So even if you were in LA at the time, but you didn't come to the Strip or live near here, you probably didn't see any of these. So I think a lot of people will be astonished to see some of this artwork that was up there. Well, I'll say this. I think the early part of this, you know, the mid-'60s till about the mid-'70s, it really was about the music. And then somewhere in there, it started getting back to being more about entertainment. And that's sort of a cycle that the music thing goes through. But being somewhat of a purist, and that being sort of my golden childhood or whatever, that's the period I think of as the real music, is what I guess what you call classic rock.
Beautiful.